Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, February the 12th. So happy Wednesday, happy hump day, and happy CPI day today because as you see this chart, that was when we had CPI released this morning and had a free fall all the way down. That's about, so we're pushing 6100 down to 6020, kind of roughly 80 points all the way down. And then we fought and clawed and scratched all the way back up here and kind of got close, to gaining most of that back. Pretty impressive run, I guess, higher there into the end of the day. Still ended up on the day down about, I think, 16 on the S&P, about 18 on the ES, but that was all due, again, to that CPI. Now, if you've been in my trading room, in the bias room, or in the main room, we've been talking about this. I'm actually completely flat in the bias portfolio here. We closed out all of our S&P positions. We always trade a lot of S&P. We closed them out on Friday because we had Friday was a really messy day, and things looked like they were swirling around the drain. But we had Powell speaking on Monday. We had Powell speaking yesterday. We had CPI today right there, and then we've got PPI in the morning. So I knew it was going to be a little tricky. So let me show you this. So on a 5-day chart, this was Friday, and we had been going up and up and up, and then we get a lot of these head fakes, and then coming up here, and then on Friday we had this another just free fall, all the way down, and here's the opening session on Sunday night right there down here, and we claw our way back up here, and then we just been kind of chopping. So this really, and we had been watching this pretty closely, that when the market is so erratic, nothing's making sense, you get these giant flushes and all that kind of stuff, it's best to sit on your hands and kind of wait. And honestly, below SPX 6100, in my opinion, is still, and really you could say ES, but below that is still really risk off. So I didn't want to do too much, and I'll show you this a little more clarity here. We're just looking at the ES. If you look at this, so this is a 20-day chart, and it's been, here's our voodoo fire line, but we've been, straight up to the moon, straight up, flush, straight up, flush, straight up, flush. And look at this gap. I mean, huge gaps. That's kind of crazy. All the way back down the fire line again, and then we're off to the races, and we flush again, and off to the races and flush, and off to the races and flush. This is the land of confusion, and it doesn't do much good to try to get on either side of this because you're only going to win momentarily if you're long or short either side. So just, again, trying to be really careful here. But let me show you something interesting. So you see this big move down. We looked at that. That's CPI, 80 points. Well, check this out. How things change, because if we go over here, you see that candle right there? So that is 5,900 to about 6,000. So that's about 100 points. Guess what that was? That was last month's CPI. 100 points straight up on CPI. This month, 100 points straight down right there. And I mean, you can't even make that stuff up. It's just, you see that candle right there? It's crazy. All this is going on within a month, right? So the Fed is saying this and the Fed's saying that, and inflation numbers are coming in hot, or whatever is happening, going on behind the scenes. This is just tough to, to try to trade this. So again, just being really careful here. Let me show you this, and maybe it'll make a little more sense here. So if we look again, this is the ES. What I'm looking at here is you can see we're coming into this compression zone here. Now moving averages are, you can kind of see the moving averages cross to the upside right there. That's a 20-day and a 50-day, and they crossed right there to the upside. That's bullish. But again, every time we get going, we get slammed straight back down, and then we get going and we get slammed back down, and get going and get slammed back down over and over and over. So, what's going to happen here? Are we going to break out and all of a sudden the sky's the limit, or is this thing going to roll over and go the other way? And of course, we don't know. But I can tell you, if you look at this, this looked, and this right there is the end of the year. So this is what derailed the Santa rally right there, and then again straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, and then here we broke to break on through to the other side of here, and now we're kind of facing the which way do we go again, and again, which makes it tough. And if if we want to really dig in and peel back the layers, we can look at the Mag 7s aren't participating. I mean, Tesla is not doing anything. Netflix is the only one that looks like it's really working well. All the others, I guess Meta is too, but a lot of the others are not participating. That's where we get a whole lot of the market movement from, as we know. I believe, if my math is correct and my memory is correct, that the Mag 7s are accounting for about 29% of the move of the S&P 500. So if those aren't participating, then that's where you get a lot of this chop. Again, some are and some are not. But overall, the overall theme right now is still very, very caution, and sitting on our hands, just kind of waiting and watching. I got a lot of really nice names on the list, but again, really kind of afraid to jump in too much again with this kind of pattern going on here. So where do we go from here? Let me put this back up. If we look at our calendar, the regular calendar here, tomorrow is PPI. We do have more earnings coming out these next couple of weeks. All the big names are already out, but we do have a lot more earnings coming out. Not market moving earnings, but a lot of earnings. Here on the 28th, we got PCE. Now remember, we did not have a Fed meeting in February. We will have one in March on the 19th. So we'll have PCE on the 28th, and then we'll have payrolls on the 7th. So still, we have a lot more data points coming up that are going to give us a clue into what the Fed's thinking in inflation and things like that. So other than that, I don't really have a lot of insight. This is definitely a stock picker market. There are names that are working. If you guys, one stock that I highlighted on X this morning was APP. I'm long I'm long APP and held it over earnings. Really nice move here this afternoon. This is AppLovin and APP AppLovin. So there are names out there that are working. I've got ISRG. I mean, there are a handful of names that are working pretty well. ANET has been working well for us. They report next week on Tuesday. But again, it's not a just buy anything and make money like it is sometimes. When the whole overall market is in a nice move one way or the other, right? So with that, let me wind it up. Join me in the bias room at Simpler Trading. We talk about these ideas all the time, different concepts and things we're looking at, things we want to put on the radar to watch, things like that. So I'm in the bias room every day. I'm in the main room there, Simpler Central, the main room as well. You can join us in there. We got a lot of good traders in there. So come and join us. You can follow me on X. I'm at Trading Bruce on X. And with that, let me wind it up. Hope this helps. Hope it makes sense. Be careful out there, and just keep powder dry and look for the good opportunities. Be careful tomorrow. We may get some opportunity tomorrow if we get a sell-off from PPI in the morning, which is really kind of what I'm expecting, but we'll see. So again, with that, let me wind it up. And thanks for your time. I appreciate it and hope to see you soon. Thanks. Take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me.